Today's Japanese slang term is erogaru, which means to be thirsty or visibly horny. Yeah, it's another one of those videos. Thanks, Japan, for making all these words that are awkward to explain. Let's do it. And let's actually start by doing something that I almost never do in my videos, which is give you useful information, because erogaru is a combination of eroi, which is the adjective for erotic, but also garu, which is a productive suffix you will see in Japanese and that you should know. Now, the garu suffix basically attaches to the e ending of things, usually e adjectives, but you'll probably first encounter it in Japanese via the form tagaru, which is tai, as in like want to, combined with garu. So traditionally in Japanese, when you're talking about like someone else's desires, rather than saying like, Tanaka-san wa tabetai desu, you'd say tabetagattemasu, which is literally they are like showing or acting, behaving in a way that indicates that they want to do it. If you just say tabetai desu, it sounds like you've confirmed it with them or you know them quite closely. It's something that a lot of learners forget to do. Indeed, probably a lot of advanced speakers forget to do, especially speakers coming from languages like English. But if you can remember to use it, it will make you sound, jozu, and like in the real way. But this is because the garu suffix there attaches to these e adjectives to indicate that somebody is behaving in a certain way, acting in a certain way, or even pretending to act in a certain way. Because there are Japanese verbs that are created by taking an adjective, attaching garu to it, and then they solidify. So hoshigaru, right, is like to be wanting something, but tsuyogaru is not to be like looking strong, or like pretending to be strong, bluffing to be strong, acting tough. So erogaru is then acting eroi, or indicating like eroiness, right? Being eroi in a way that is so visible to everyone around you that it is garu. Now, while erogaru looks therefore like a lot of words that are just, words, I think it should be considered a slang word, and it's one that is not new, but has increased a lot in interest recently. For instance, the website Model Press put it in one of its top words of 2024. And while I guess in theory it could have existed for a while, Google Trends says the interest started in 2007, and I couldn't find any hits before that. Indeed, I couldn't find hits on Twitter until 2009. And there's a lot of ways we could translate this, but if we just look at the front there, erogaru kedo kuchidake, I think from context that is like they're giving off the vibes that they want to do something erotic, but it's all kind of talk. There's other translations that are possible, but I just don't want to say them. But even more important in indicating that this word may have actually appeared around the late 2000s is posts like this in 2010, where someone's like, oh, this is a nice word, which indicates that they heard it for the first time, which they wouldn't have done if it was like established, like tsuyogaru or hoshigaru. But why is erogaru popular now? Well, that relates to a TV show. So there's a Japanese website channel thing. They make a bunch of TV shows called Amoeba, and a lot of their shows have been very popular. And one that they've released is called Ai no Hyena, or The Love Hyena. And it's like a show about love and love-related things, but also it's edgy and racy, and they interview porn stars and stuff. During one series of episodes on this show in 2024, they had one of the people on the show work at being a host and try to become like the #1 host in an area. So they're a host of the show, but then they're also a host. Anyway, within this, there was like an internal contest in one of the host clubs where they were working at, where various hosts tried to compete to get the affection, get the preference, get chosen by women who were visiting a host club for the first time. During this, the host Bakugeki Ryoma, which is obviously not his real name, but he was shooting a shot with this girl and he said, "Shall I take you home?" To which she responded immediately, "Yeah, take me home." And he responded with eroganna, or like, "Stop being so horny, don't be so horny, don't be so thirsty." And that was a shocking comment that made the actual hosts of the show laugh quite a bit and be shocked. Indeed, my favorite part of that whole interaction is the shock of the host of the show, so let's watch it again. And this clip went super viral online, with a lot of people finding this contraction of erogaru into the eroganna form, control your thirst, a very amusing and kind of unique phrasing, with a tweet about it on June 10th of 2024, getting over 10 million views and 30,000 likes, with the poster describing it as a word which will make women's wombs explode. Yay! We've got to the part where the video where I have to translate something that's awkward to translate. Whee! Boy, I'm glad that I don't get paid for this. Now, actually, Bakugeki here is not the first person to use eroganna ever. Here's a near example in 2026, which is eroganna. And from context, I think it's right because they're responding to somebody asking them if they're a virgin. And here's a very clear example from 2023, where someone advises someone, maybe you, maybe me, to stop being so horny and be more emotional. But there's no question that eroganna as a phrase was quite rare compared to erogaru in 2024, and so the use of this by Bakugeki exploded, and Bakugeki turned it into like his thing. He made a song about it. Eroganna. which is, it does fit in the definition of music. And he's now currently trying out a career as a live artist. He's released other songs. They're no longer on streaming platforms, which is strange, but he has a Twitter profile which announces erogaru very high at the top, and he seems to be doing live shows still quite recently, and there are people watching them. So I guess good luck. I will say that producing merch of like a towel with erogaru on it is hilarious, and I maybe did look if I could try to buy one online, but I couldn't, so that's sad. But yeah, that's why erogaru is in the limelight these days. It's been around for at least a decade, maybe two, but because a host used it on a woman on a TV show that was very popular, and because the negative phrasing of it is, you know, fairly unique, it's now back in the conscious. But while I always say, like, don't use anything I teach you in these videos are not a good use of your time in terms of learning useful Japanese. Especially don't use this one. It is considered vulgar. Like, there's a post here that I stumbled across where somebody used it even to their husband, and the response was not positive. But on the other hand, like, don't let some random host tell you not what to do either. Like, you know, erogaritai nara erogattara.